Welcome to Meet the Candidate. I'm Bianca Mewborn, freelance journalist and contributing correspondent to the Daily Reflector and the Standard newspapers. And today I am with Tony Moore, candidate for mayor of Winterville. Mr. Moore, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me today.
Can you please tell me a bit about yourself?
Oh, yes. I've been a long-time resident of Winterville. I was serving the board for 24 years. I had a wife, my first wife, 50 years. I remarried after that time to a second wife. I had 3 children. One has passed recently.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
From a car accident. My wife died. My first wife died of COVID, and I have my father-in-law served Pitt County for 45 years as an elected official. I met the most famous person in Pitt County. I would like for them to know, Robert Humber.
Oh, how nice.
And he has a house in downtown Greenville on 5th Street. I met him at age 8. I washed and waxed his car, 1954 Cadillac. And he's the father of what? Museum of Art. Mm-hmm. He's also the father of the idea of having the United Nations, which became the League of Nations and then became the United Nations. So that's what got me in politics, probably, these things.
Cool.
But I found out that I could get so much done by helping other people. I tell people my only thing I do in life is serve other people each and every day. And I'm proud of my background. And I think I can do a very good job, especially after Winterville just did a 40% tax increase.
Oh my.
How would the board do that? When I left the board, it had $32 million in the bank, which is over 100% in the bank. So why would you affect those kind of citizens?
Right.
And that's why I wanted to come back. I own a number of businesses. One is driver education for the last 36 years and 43 school systems. I'm the largest contractor in North Carolina for the last 30-some years. So I'm very proud of what I've done.
Driver's education.
Yes, ma'am.
You must have nerves of steel.
The Lord blessed me with the patience. I taught 5,000 students at A.G. Cox, North Pitt, D.H. Conley, and Pitt Community College as of 1992 when I stopped counting. I would have a dozen 75-year-olds in the class, or I would have a dozen 75-year-olds in the class, and they were all entertaining. I used to be a special education teacher too. I've taught them at everything.
Well, luckily for you, you had a set of brakes on your side of the car.
And a good left hand. And I've been very blessed.
Mr. Moore, can you tell me why you're interested in being mayor of Winterville?
Leadership. Leadership is the key. Mm-hmm. Somebody that's a spokesperson for the town that knows how to get things done. Having 24 years experience helps me a lot. Being a former state senator helps me a lot. I've been going to General Assembly since 1985, and I don't go quite as often because I have a lobbyist. Mm-hmm. And I used to be vice president of 8 states back in the 90s. That taught me a lot. I was the first person in General Assembly to have a weekly newsletter every Friday, and everybody started copying me afterwards. I've been very blessed with a lot of people to help me along the way, though. A lot of people.
It's always a blessing to have people helping. Can you tell me what some of your strengths are?
Communication. Being able to understand people. I went to 5 schools, graduated 5 times, and social science. So I've taught English, math, sociology, economics, world geography, U.S. history, and driver's ed, and special education. And I've been a special ed teacher. It taught me. I had 48 kids a day. Had a wonderful time. I never forget one time the superintendent said, "I thought you told your superintendent, your supervisors didn't do a good job." I said I hadn't been certified. So they sent me to school to be certified.
How nice. And
I taught them English and math. And there's 48 kids in the class, three classes, but 48 kids all day. They were a blast. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
U.S. history was one of my favorite subjects.
Yes.
I think it's so important.
Yes.
Mr. Moore, why should the citizens of Winterville vote for you?
Experience. Being a employee of the town of Winterville, as a town planner, I worked in the town administration in school. I got internships in both as administrator. As an electrician, I ran a sewer plant. Used to read meters. I used to be the garbage collector. So I went to everybody's home in Winterville. Went door to door to their home back in the 70s. And having the knowledge, I was able to, my first term, to reduce utility rates in Winterville about 35%. Winterville had power before Greenville. And we sold power to Greenville until 1947. Then, when I came on board, we put it up for bids and got a 35% reduction. And before we left the board, we built our own power plant in Kings Mountain and got another 20%. So I know how to save people money. We also did a grant of 35 homes in Winterville. Your home would be improved. You'd be a new home at no cost to you. Period. 31 homes. I'm proud of that. Then I got also another grant to do the outside facades of buildings downtown Winterville. So I've been blessed with knowledge and energy to get things done. I'm very proud of my past.
Well, I can tell you one thing. People aren't going to complain about saving money.
Right.
Can you describe a time you've faced a challenging situation?
Yes. When I was a senator, they had a meeting. They wanted to shut down the growth of Winterville. We're going too fast, they said. And we met in Raleigh, and I said, no. You don't shut down because you had one sewer. Active nature, rain, and the sewer flooded. You don't shut down a town for that one reason. And that was very challenging. And they didn't. And the person who did that, this is a terrible thing to say, he died that night.
Oh, no.
So they didn't shut us down at all. Why would you want to shut a town's growth down? Because of one sewer spillage. I mean, it's going to happen. It's the act of nature, act of God. So that's most challenging. And also redistricting of people each time, and redistricting. We used to have 2 state senators, and we had one. It took away our power. When I switched parties in November 24th of 2003, I told the members of the Senate, you're supposed to be honorable people. You didn't show the maps. I saw them 3 months ago. Why didn't you show? You said the maps were not available. They're available today, but they weren't available last week. Why would you lie to them? Now, I come here every day to be an honorable person to do what the public wants me to do, and then you try to hurt my own county, and you did. It's been hurt ever since.
And transparency is so important.
Absolutely, you need to be honest. I used to work at the Board of Elections at a poll, and so you got to be honest at the polls. You know, it's incredible. One time I lost the election because they wouldn't count my votes. Well, first I did. I went to the head of the Board of Elections, supervisor. I said, now I've moved one house to another house in Winterville to my first wife's grandmother's house. Am I legal? Absolutely. Uh-oh. And 4 counties voted I was legal. Then go to Raleigh. You're not legal. Why? We said so.
Oh, that's ugly.
And then the next hearing was in Marshall, North Carolina, which is north of Asheville. And the judge said there were 5 people in the courtroom. You're not legal. Why? I don't have to tell you why. You're not legal. People don't know how. And then, like 2022, I was up by 20%, 30% against Reader for House, and they ran ads in the WNCT. It came from a previous election cycle. They can't tell me, and they admitted it. I went to Josh Stein's office. I said they ran ads. Nobody knows who supplied the ads from a previous campaign. Nobody knows who paid for them. What?
So how did they get there?
Josh Stein's office did not do one thing about it. Went back and forth. I said, how can you not know? I've never sued people in my life. I don't believe in suing. If you can't forgive somebody, the Lord can't forgive you.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Moore, can you tell me about a time you had to work with a difficult colleague?
Yeah, I'm a communicator. I'm a good listener. Most of my hours were in sociology, even though I taught U.S. history. I did teach sociology at Pitt 1 year. I look back and I try to get along with everybody. When I was the national vice president for the Southeast, I flew them many times. I said, every time a person sits beside anybody that sits beside, they got a life. They got something to share. Gain information of the person. Try to understand that person. So it's very difficult. I never had a really argument. I don't argue. I'm ugly. As a sports official for 25 years, I used to train officials too. I said, you can cuss me out, call me all those 4 letters. And I understand you're upset.
Well, that is a good attribute. You know, I'm not very good at turning the other cheek. Can you describe a situation where you had to prioritize multiple tasks?
Well, in '83, I was president of 5 organizations. Young Democrats was one of them. They wouldn't let it fold, and I brought it back up. I became president my first meeting in '83. The next year, they had a state convention here. The next year. So, having 5 organizations, working 15 months a year with the Pitt County schools, 15 months, and also working at Pitt Community College, same time, and in school full time. I graduated that year. I had to and 3 children. I had to prioritize things.
You had a lot of plates spinning.
Still, I own 4 businesses: fishing business, rental business, personnel business from school systems, and a rental business. And I try to be the cheapest rent there is. I rent a house beside me for $400 a month, 2-bedroom house. I rent a 3-bedroom house across the street, $12.
Right now in 2025, I haven't seen rent for $400, $500 since the early 2000s.
If you want to be greedy, our father's watching us all the time. He knows what we do. Make every day count. Every day count to help other people.
Mr. Moore, what's one of your proudest accomplishments?
Oh, yeah. Number 1 would be the Heart Center. And that's why I was written out, other than the ugly things I said about redistricting. And my father died of heart disease at 69 years old. We got $60 million. And then the former Senator Ed Warren had done a plan for the dental school. And he died. Senator Martin and Senator Warren died 21 days apart. I took his plan, disseminated it to other people, and that's the start of it, the dental school. That's number 1. The next one would probably be that I tried my best to get the ACC, and I had a petition from the Senate and the House in 2003, and the governor, a local House member, not go along. She said, Tony, there are 16 of them in the House, or more than that, in the Senate, 16 in the Senate, and you're 1. What are they going to do to you? Okay, what are they going to do to you? So the governor didn't go along with it. I tried my best. It should have been, if it happened, we'd been much better off. That would have been a big. And of course, the Southwest Bypass that was approved in 2003, but wasn't funded until 2017. Anyway, challenging times. I'm proud of those 2 events. And I'm proud to reduce utilities. One time we reduced utilities and went over 10% this month, and during COVID time, 10% another time. Anytime you can lower people by using good judgment. My parents were both disabled, both of them. They both smoked, and they died early. So I tell people when I lived in that trailer that was 20 by 8, 20 foot long, 8 foot wide, and I got a 40-foot trailer. I'd already gone to heaven one time already.
Mr. Moore, what do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in Winterville?
This past board that we have now has done nothing in 2 years. When I left the board, the July before, I left in November, we had 5 acres we had purchased, and they said we had it ready to start selling lots. They hadn't done it yet. We bought land to build recreation facilities. They hadn't done yet. I was one of 12 people who built the first park in Winterville, signed it, and then we donated it to the town. We built it, 12 of us, signed the note. And we need to have more recreation facilities for people's mental health. Mental health is the number 1 issue that's on the board. And that's one thing I would like to do, help people have mental health issues. It's a need we all have. Everyone else. This is a trying time for everybody on this earth.
Yes, it is.
So be nice to everybody you see. Be nice.
Mr. Moore, that brings me to my next question. Should the board be encouraging building and development?
If it's good quality development, with good house builders. Being a building inspector, I can't say that because of the quality of homes. Now, I'm renovating a 1900 house at this time. It was empty for 13 years. And two ladies who owned it sold it to me because she knows I'll improve it. I might lose money renovating it, but I'm going to make it look nice. It's not just to be sitting there. And but we need to have good development. We need to have better roads. Now, the state owes us a lot of money for roads, but we have nobody to speak on roads in Pitt County. We have people who speak about the hospital, but not about roads. And people die, especially teens, on roads. When I first moved to Winterville in '89, I lived in Greenville before that, outside of Greenville, had Greenville address. It was supposed to 5-lane Old Tar. 2002, it was supposed to be done. I moved in '89. What's happened since then? No leadership. No leadership. In 2008, we had the ready to build for three lanes, at least 3 lanes, versus the 5 lanes. Shovel ready. I was the only person who got land free in front of my house. Nobody else did. But now, there's people dying. And Greenville, for so long, has been the most dangerous town and has the most accidents. Why? It's not because of the university. There are universities in lots of towns. Our road system is very important because if you're in line for so long, you get ill. You get to work ill. You go home, long lines. You go home. Now your co-workers are ill when you get there ill in the morning, and your family's ill when you get there late at night. Roads save lives. 1 every 4 people will be affected in their lifetime by the roads and accidents and deaths. I had a son that died doing 35 miles an hour, and an airbag came out. He died instantly.
Because of a raggedy road?
Well, it was rain, pouring down rain. Road, yes, had a lot to do with it. So it's key. I was hit 3 times in 2 years. I'm still here today. Somehow, twice I was sitting at stoplights. I was hit.
I've been there.
At stoplight, you get hit. T-bone.
I got hit from behind at a stoplight. It does happen,
Yeah.
but you're extremely blessed.
Yeah, I got over 200 employees. I just hired 40 the last 90 days, new additional teachers. It's tough to get. I've got I have a dealership. I can buy cars cheaper. That's how I do what I do in North Carolina. Now the DMV wants me to take over driver's licensing because that's just line. Because the governor would not negotiate with the General Assembly. Teachers need better raises. No doubt about it. I was a teacher 19 years. I was 16 years as a teacher, 3 years as administrator. Teachers need better salaries.
They do.
The last 2 years on the board gave our employees a 9% raise. Each year, the last 2 years. Our employees are very important. And public safety is big, but all employees are important. Be fair to them. I try to be the same way.
Especially our teachers.
When I started my business 36 years ago, I started with benefits. Where'd go? Insurance, 401k, vacation time. It's made me successful.
Mr. Moore, what one part of town would receive more attention if you are elected mayor?
The older parts of town that become like the 31 homes we did that time. We need more of that. Winterville went more in '74 with FHA housing, and what happens is they would finance a house, and and you would pay a FHA rate. And you put down 1/4 what you made, and you own that home. You get into an apartment, you never own a home. You need to own something, and you can buy something up to the credit line, but you need to have homes built that people can afford to buy, not more apartments. Because I know you have to have apartments. Apartments I had, I was charging $550. I sold them off. The guy's now charging $950.
Oh wow!
I wished I hadn't sold them now. I had it for them.
Well, because the people moving into those apartments, how are they going to be able to save and get ahead?
That's right. I had a preacher living in my home. I had a place. I rented to a preacher. Resident called me Wednesday night. No, forget. She said, I got a guy with 3 children, my wife. Any place to stay? I said, I rented to him for $400. And he came back later after 7 years. Says, Mr. Moore, because of you, I was able to buy a house. Thank you.
But times were different when you had individual community members who owned, and rented out apartments. Now you have a lot of corporations who are owning developments, and it's become a business.
When you meet your next maker, you'll be
We have to answer for some of that
Yes.
stuff. If elected, what is your primary goal to accomplish during your term?
Lower all rates and better services. They cut down on services but raised rates because they had no experience.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have experience. How did I know how to do the contracting to lower utility rates? How did I have the last building a power plant in Kings Mountain? Negotiate that. You know, being trained as a town administrator really at Appalachia State. It helps me a lot to know more about the workings. At one time, until I came on board, the sewer plant down in Grifton that went over Aden and went over the other was charging us according to growth. Now, I came on one term, and that's according to the flow. So, Aden and Winterville, that sewer rates are exactly double. And our water rates are cheaper too because we have clean water. Now we get some from the Greenville now, but Mr. Cox built the town, named the town. He says the town of clean water. It is clean. They said the state came out and said you had to reduce taking out of the ground, okay, because other towns use it. So we went back. Aden, Grifton, Eastern Pines, Bell Arthur, they're paying twice what we pay for water because we were pulling out of the ground. 29 cents versus $4 is big money.
Now, when you say when Mr. Cox built the town, are you speaking of Mr. Amos Graves Cox?
Built 2 schools. He named the town, built the town, sued the railroad. He quite an entrepreneur, and won that suit against the railroad.
I know a little bit about Winterville history. I've done some reporting, and I've connected with the
quite a man, wasn't he?
With some of the movers and shakers over there at the museum, and learned quite a few things. How do you think the city council should interact with staff?
Town manager, that's who you interact with, not staff. It's like that person's given a job to do. If you interact with staff, then the staff goes back to the person that takes up all the time. That's why they can't get anything done. Got nothing done in the last 2 years. Meetings used to be an hour and a half, 4 hours long. You keep barging the town manager, administration over and over again. Well, how should she get anything done? And she's a veteran person. She can get a lot done. But as long as you keep asking individual questions, you're learning. You don't know. And that's kind of depressing. So much time, because that's the person you pay. And we don't pay our managers that much either. Winter was 2,000 more than the population of Washington. Washington has 3 assistant town managers.
3?
3, and all of them make more than our town manager makes. 3. Okay, and they're smaller than us. And I took the League of Municipalities president 3 years ago on a trip. He's a long-serving member. He told me about it, what they pay and so forth. And then I found out even our mayor makes as much as a House member, a Senate member. And his salary is only $14,971. Our board at one time voted themselves a double their salary. I voted against it.
Mr. Moore, what community involvement have you had in the last 5 years?
Well, I've been in Rotary Club last 50 years, still involved. Kiwanis Club, we do scholarships. I've been doing Veterans Day for it's been my 25th year doing Veterans Day. Still active, member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I was actually like to be there. During these tough times, hiring people during the biggest time, but that's gotten better now since I've hired these people. But I try to watch the board meetings on TV to keep up with them. I was at Pitt Community College yesterday, 2 days ago. I was there. Pretty involved. I got the events we had yesterday afternoon on the town common. That town common, that's been done to it. I got the Kiwanis Club to put the clock there, and nothing's else been done. A plan's been done to do that area of property. Nothing's been done. Why not? Because you always put so much, ask me questions. If you go to the league meetings and you learn, it pays off for the town people.
It does.
But it's like I tell people, I got a business downtown. I used to own 8 of them downtown. Now I just own 2. And I renovated all of them. And all the families came to me to buy them, and then I sold them out. And because people complained about owning too much, so there's 6 were sold. And it's a major problem downtown too. We have all this beer, but safety we don't have. Lights, I've asked them to put taller lights in, brighter lights. So that's a few of the things involved with still keeping it what they're doing.
But you got beer.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm on the board, or try to lead the board, and be a good representative to the schools. I'm a school person, so I like visiting schools. So I'm involved with schools still locally. I still officiated for years. I still try to participate in them and be a member of each school. I've been head of the Key Club. I got money from them last year. I feed in Rose High and at South Central Key Club. I feed the faculty at a number of schools. So I'm pretty active.
How nice. Well, being a former senator and being the fact that you've worked in local government, you're not unaware that members of city council are frequently criticized in a very public way. If you are subject to public criticism, how would you respond to that?
People always know they just come in my office and we see what we can do. I'm a good listener. Try to find a solution. If I don't have the answer, I call other people, other town managers. I ask town managers to come up with what are the other towns doing to solve this problem. I mean, I can't believe they don't criticize not have a place to bury their loved ones. I can't believe that we don't push harder for that 5-lane highway. We put it off for 5 more years. I can't believe we don't do those things. I can't believe that you raise taxes to hurt people. Why would you do that? And, we were ranked 3 to 5 as the safest town. Are we now? In North Carolina. We had the highest ratio of money in the bank. I mean, we required to have 8. Having 15, 16% when I left. But criticism, I'm always been a good communicator. I have to talk to a lot of school boards. It's amazing what I have to do. And you got 43. That's 43 superintendents, 43 boards, and every election time they change, and they have ones their own too. So I'm very well, know about those kind of situations.
Mr. Moore, at this time, if there's anything else that you would like to express or convey directly to the citizens of Winterville, please take this time to do so.
I would like to ask for your vote. I'd like to ask for your prayers, your consideration. I'll do my best for my town. I love my community, my entire life. I appreciate your consideration again. Thank you.
Tony Moore, everyone, candidate for the town of Winterville, running for mayor. Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. I'm Bianca Mewborn. Have a great day.